thing on? I'm just kidding. Hi everybody, this is Taylor Moore, your realtor, your real estate consultant, your real estate counselor, and today I am reporting to you live from my guest room in my house because I'm working from home. So many of us are working from home and we're getting reintroduced to our spouses. Some of us falling in love with them all over again, some of them, not so much. Spending so much more time with our kids, and we're realizing that they're angels or that they're little demons. And even our pets, we're spending so much more time at home that our pets are annoyed with us because we're there messing with them all day. The dynamic between people has changed so much. I'm a hugger. I love to talk to people. My best friend tells me that I can strike up a conversation with a wall. And now when I'm walking outside and I see another person, I move in the grass or move in the street so I don't have to be close to them. So things have changed quite a bit in the past few weeks. But in all seriousness, this is just unprecedented for us. We're spending just so much more time away from each other, and it's hard, it's difficult, but we're pushing through. And I would love to know how everybody is doing. How are people holding up? A lot of us are going stir crazy, we're getting cabin fever, but then some of us, like myself, we're kind of doing okay. It was hard at first. I always like to stay home, anyway, but now not having the option is a little bit difficult to go out if I wanted to. But I've been working out from home. I've been taking up things that interested me that I just never had the time to do, because now if you have more time because you're forced to stay home, those things that you weren't able to do before, it's just a matter of you deciding, did I really not have the time, or did I just really not want to do it? So I'm doing a few other things on top of work stuff because I still have to go out occasionally to show properties and, pick up things at the grocery store. But I'm taking an interior design class. I'm reading, catching up and connecting with old friends, seeing how my family's doing, cleaning up my house, making sure that things are just the way that I want them. And everybody's just responding to the situation that we're in. That's what I'm going to call it. The situation that we're in just so differently because everybody's been affected so differently. Which brings me to my point of what I wanted to discuss today. Some people have more business than they've ever had in their life because, say, you're an essential business, like, a grocery store, or you're in the health industry, or if you work for Netflix. I'm considering that essential because catching up on my shows is essential. But like I said, some people have more business than ever. And then unfortunately, on the other end of the spectrum, some people have lost their jobs. They're taking financial losses because business has been cut short or it's been diminished in some way. And I kind of had this message on my heart these past few days, and I said, I'm gonna make a video to talk about it because now more than ever, people are considering their real estate situation. If you own property, perhaps selling a property is a way for you to kind of release yourself of some of that stress and that financial burden. We're spending so much time in our house. A lot of us are figuring out wow, I don't really love it here. I need more space. Because now that everybody's under the same roof at the same time, you're realizing these things, or how much you just don't like where you live. And aside from that, a lot of us, unfortunately, are coming to the conclusions that we have to sell our properties because we just can't afford it. What better cushion than to have actual cash in your bank account because you sold your home and decided to rent or decided to sell an investment property or a second home? We're already dealing with the stress of the situation that we're in. So I would love to share some tips on how to make selling your home less stressful. And number one, I'm going to say that this is the most important tip of all of the tips that I have. Do not make it difficult for people to view your property. Before all of this started, What that looked like was making it easy to schedule a showing, taking really great photographs, letting your realtor come in with their photographer and take superb photographs, and just like being gone when people want to see the house. But now that looks like a realtor doing a virtual tour of the home and posting it to YouTube, or sending it out to potential buyers, having like a professional virtual tour done by a photographer. Whatever it takes to get more eyes on your property and to make it as easily accessible as possible. If you live in the home, I understand why that can be difficult to have people coming in and out of your house, but just try to be as accommodating as possible. I've gone into properties that had Lysol wipes where people could wipe down fixtures, knobs, things like that, shoe covers for when you walked in the home, antibacterial, antimicrobial soap at the sink for people to wash their hands, and just to make it as easy for people to view as possible. So I would totally recommend that. In fact, I'm not recommending it, I am insisting that you make it easy to see your house. Number 2. Like I said, some people were thinking about selling their house, putting it on the market before all of this started. So if you're still thinking about selling your home, give yourself time to prepare. Like I said, unfortunately, some people were not able to prepare. They didn't anticipate this happening, and they're having to sell fast due to cash. They would like the extra cash flow. But for others who actually have the time, take that time to get your house professionally cleaned, get any repairs that you've been putting off done, declutter, consider staging. I always love to come into a house that's staged because it gives people ideas and they're able to remove you, but insert themselves into the situation by visualizing themselves in the property. Number 3, this is another big one. Pay attention to the market. If you hired a realtor, you are a genius, congratulations. But if you hire them, acknowledge them as the expert and listen to what they have to say. If they're looking at all the homes that have sold within the past 3 months, the past few weeks, it doesn't make sense. If your house is comparable to another house, it's $100,000 more. Do you expect that house to go flying off the shelves? Or do you expect other realtors to come in and not have questions as to why your house is so much more expensive than anything that has sold or anything that's active, within your area? So listen to me and price your house accordingly. Listen to the market. Number 4, have a real conversation with your realtor about what you want to get out of the property. This is another big one. What do you owe on the property? What is your lifestyle going to look like after you sell your house? How much money do you need to live that lifestyle? Keep these things in mind so you're not disappointed, and maybe you're pleasantly surprised by how much money you have once you sell your home. Think about the long term and think about what you expect to get out of your property. Number 5, don't take things personally, sellers. Yes, I'm talking to you. Do not take things personally. If somebody offers you $350,000 and you have your house in the market for $375,000, don't just shun that buyer away because you think that that's offensive. They're offering you $25,000 less. How dare they? Please understand they are offering you what they think the house is worth. Understand that people have their own wants, they have their own needs, they have their own interpretation of what's going on in the market, and they may look at your fixtures, or they may look at just the yard or whatever it is in your home and say, oh, that needs a little bit of work. That $10,000 that you may have spent on quartz countertops, they may come into that house and hate them and think it needs to be removed. People come into homes and they try to visualize themselves in the home and what they need to do to make it to their standards. They are trying to think of the plans that they have for the home, whether it be an investment property, whether they're going to be living there. They have their own dreams and desires. So do not take things personally or get offended when somebody just doesn't have the same vision for your home as you did. And lastly, I gotta take a deep breath for this one and take a sip of wine. Because this one is going to be a little difficult to say, and it's going to be a little difficult for sellers to hear this. But sellers, if you have lived in Austin these past few years, or if you've lived in Austin these past few months, this market has been a very strong seller's market. I would say anywhere under the price point of $600,000, all dependent on the area of Austin that you're in or how far from Austin that you are. But houses within a reasonable, affordable price range are flying off the shelves. People are just dying to get themselves into a house in Austin and Austin proper. You had people ready to give you their firstborn child in exchange for your house. So sellers really didn't have to do very much to get a buyer interested in their home if it was, within a certain price point. But things have changed in these past few weeks. They have not changed drastically. There are still so many houses coming to the market. There are so many houses being sold because people still have real estate needs. But sellers understand that your house is not the same house that it was a few weeks ago, because your buyer pool has been affected by what's going on. Like I said, so many people have more business than they've ever had in their lives, and some people have lost almost everything within a matter of days, a matter of weeks. Buying a new house may have been on their radar for the past few months, but now they have other things to consider. Maybe even more important things like, how am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to take care of my family members? It would be irresponsible for you to think that your buyer pool is not going to be affected, because some people are grieving the loss of family members. Some people are experiencing symptoms themselves and are not feeling well. We're spending more time with our kids. We're spending more time with our spouses. We're trying to figure out how we're going to eat. So sellers, I would like for you to consider offering an incentive. I was talking to my friend Cheryl, who's another fabulous realtor, and she had this great idea. Sellers, why not offer an incentive such as offering to contribute $500, $1,000 towards your buyer's moving costs? Moving is an expense. Moving is expensive, okay? And it may be a huge help to somebody. And it could be the difference between somebody moving into your house or not, because people's leases are ending. People are realizing that they're spending so much more time in their house that they just don't have enough space in their house. Now that everybody is under the same roof at the same time, it's just that there's not enough space. People are realizing that they have enough space, but they hate where they live. People are just all over the place. And they may be looking for a home. And like I said, everybody's experiencing this whole situation differently. So some people may have gotten pre-qualified for loans before all of this started and are still looking for homes. So it's important for you as the seller not to focus so much on the past, what life was like in the real estate market a few weeks ago, but focus on the present. Instead of focusing on what you don't have, or feeling sorry, or even deciding to take your house off the market, consider the alternative of putting your house on the market but making it more appealing to people. Focus on the buyers that are ready, willing, able to buy your house now. Not everybody lost it all. Some people are still out there searching for homes. Real estate is still an essential transaction. So you offering an incentive could be the difference between somebody choosing your house as opposed to another house, your house, or staying in their lease, or your house and just like staying with family members. I don't know what the reason may be, but offering an incentive just nudges them more in your direction. So keep that in mind and just consider it. That is all I'm asking. Just consider it, okay? So that's all I wanted to talk about today. And like I said, we're all experiencing this differently. We're all going through it differently. But what's most important is that we're getting through it together. We are going to get through this together. This too shall pass. And call me, text me, email me. You know how to find me if you need me for anything. I welcome the call and I welcome the opportunity to hear from you and help you. So be blessed.